I'm Madame Donuts, and I own Donut Dynamite with my husband. We live and work here on Maui. We opened our store about 7 months ago in the town of Wailuku. And so far it's going quite well. It's been really amazing how people have come to find us, and people keep coming in, so we keep making donuts. I can speak through donuts. Like, I express myself through donuts. I think donuts are very humble, and also they're the underdog of the pastry world. And I found it to be challenging, changing people's minds about donuts. Because when I tell people I wanted to make donuts, they're like, really? You're a CIA educated pastry chef, you want to make donuts for a living? And I say, yeah, because I'm gonna change the world through donuts. I wanted to change people's view of something that could be so simple and humble and not usually regarded as something regal. So when I decided to start a donut business, I thought, we'll make brioche style donuts. Brioche is pretty much in the same family as croissants, which was my first baking project. It's actually called the rich man's bread in the pastry world. It's an enriched dough. It has a lot more eggs and butter than any other dough out there. It's also probably one of the more complicated doughs to make, just because you can't just add everything, mix it all together and step away. It's really an emulsion, if you think about it. You emulsify the butter really well. If you don't, you end up with a really greasy product that tears apart. It's complicated in a way because butter will cut through the gluten that you normally would develop when you're making dough. So to make it perfectly stable gluten-wise, you develop that gluten so it has structure, and then you break it with the butter. That's kind of almost counterproductive, but that is why you carefully add the butter little by little. So our workday usually starts somewhere around anywhere between 10 p.m. to midnight, depending on the day of the week. On the weekends, we obviously start as early as 10. And then my husband usually rolls the dough. I would have made the brioche dough at least a day in advance, so that the dough has been rested by the time my husband rolls the dough, around 10 or 11 p.m. After he rolls them, the doughs have to rest for a few minutes, anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour before we can cut them. We cut them, we proof them, we fry them, we cool them, we glaze them. By the time all of these are done, usually it would be around 5 o'clock in the morning when we box our donuts to deliver to our accounts in the hotels and other coffee shops locally. And then we finish more donuts for the store. We open our donut shop at 7 a.m. currently. And by then, we really can't produce any more donuts because we need another day to produce more donuts for the afternoon. Whenever people tell me, oh, you guys are doing so well, I always say yes, but it's a whole lot of work to be in this type of donut business. Again, the choice of dough that we make makes everything more complicated, and of course, making all the components by hand also makes the workload so much harder and tedious. A typical work day, every day I make dough. Our doughs take about 6 to 8 hours minimum for the initial fermentation. So I mix the dough and then basically let it sit in the refrigerator in a cool room for about 6 to 8 hours to let the butter set. Meanwhile, while that's going on, we have all sorts of other projects like the toppings and such. We make all the glazes in-house. If we use some type, and then usually we stay open around 1 p.m. That's the goal. But oftentimes we sell out by 10:30, then we shut down. But the work's not done, because once the store's closed, that's when I make my dough. So again, I go back to the kitchen around maybe 1 p.m., make dough, and I make at least 4 to 6 different varieties of brioche every day. So my work day really is from about midnight to 6 or 9 p.m. Yeah. To me, I wanted that donut to have that turnaround, like, hey, it's humble, but then it's also so luxurious. Actually, we always hear the quote, "Let them eat cake," by Marie Antoinette. But if you actually look at what she had said, in French, she said, "Let them eat brioche." Because brioche is that, as I said, the rich man's bread. It's the Cadillac of all doughs. And I wanted to make the Cadillac of donuts. So brioche donuts it is. You have to be passionate about this to do the kind of work that we're doing. It takes hours. We hardly sleep. And then people ask me, how do you keep track of everything? I was like, I don't sleep because I actually love doing what I do. I could simplify it. We can make just one variety of dough and just change the toppings. But no, we don't stop there. We want the dough itself to have a lot of character, a lot of flavor, a lot of integrity, and different. And in this case, I think the difference is what makes us the go-to for what donuts should be. We're creating donuts like nobody's ever had. And I feel really, really confident that that's the reality. And you can go to the mainland where donuts are apparently so huge now. I started making donuts not realizing it's trendy. But it is everywhere else. But if you look at what most people are doing, they're just putting some really cool, fun toppings for shock value, if you will. A lot of times I think it's too much, it's overdone. Like I said, we create our donuts like one meal. It has to all come together. It has flavor, texture, that's all thought of. Those details really, really matter to us. And, the way we make our donuts really come from thinking of it as art. It sounds corny, but I look at the donut as my canvas, and I express my creativity through it. I express my story, even my life story on a donut. I think it's so lucky that we're able to do it, because I imagine any creative person or any artist would love to create something the way I'm creating the donut and make a living off of it. So yeah, they're artisanal donuts, specialty donuts, you can call it whatever, gourmet donuts. But to me, it's really just a creative expression of myself. And I found making donuts to be my vocation. Somebody actually had said that to me, like, this isn't just a job to you. This is not just a career either. It's your vocation. I was like, yeah, my calling. I never thought of that. But, you know, you go through life going through phases and doing many different things. But all those experiences put you in one place. And this is where it put me. And I really feel like I'm changing the world through a donut. It's, like I said, it's our vocation, it's our calling, it's our passion. We cannot even imagine a life without really good food. And again, when I say I am an advocate for nutrition, or, I mean, we're not creating necessarily what you would call healthy food. We're creating a healthy attitude about food. To me, eat your greens, eat your fruits and vegetables. For the most part, 90% of the time, you should be eating, well, good food. But when it comes to flavor, don't skimp out. Because when you're happy about what you're eating, I think that's a healthy feeling, a healthy attitude. I think we will always be creative, we will always be inspired to do something with food. Even with the donuts alone, we're inspired constantly by our customers or our neighbors who bring in fresh fruit or whatever it is from their backyards. I think it's amazing. We change our menu every day based on what inspired us that day. Hey, we get fresh lemons today. Well, we'll make lemon meringue donuts, or we got berries, of course. We'll make a mixed berry donut. I was missing a cheese plate, so I made a cheese donut. There's constant inspiration out there. It's art, just rainy days makes us want to make a hot chocolate donut. It's just, if we don't make donuts, I'm sure we'll find something as exciting and as creative and as stimulating. I don't think we can possibly stop creating food. This is our passion. But when somebody walks in here, it's like, oh my God, a donut! And like the face, that excitement, it's like, oh my God, this is so good. Nobody says that about a salad. I'm so sorry, but that's the truth. But people come in here and they get so excited and just look at me like, oh my God, thank you so much for doing what you do. And that's fulfilling. I want people to be excited about what we do, and they are. And we're gonna continue to do what we do until those faces disappear, but they keep coming.